For joining us. I'm Michael Mill. I'm here with Frank Calderon from the Miami-Dade Solid Waste Department. Thanks for being here, Frank.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
So here we are, the end of October. Looks like we escaped the hurricane season.
For the most part.
Right. The poor people over in Jamaica, it looks like they're going to get clobbered. That is an island. They're going to get hammered with hurricane, Cat 4 or 5.
Yeah.
It is terrible.
Wife has family there.
Yeah. And, you know, the United States and the world better get ready to go help those people. Because that is
that's gonna. I think they're not even measuring the expected rainfall in inches, but in feet.
Oh my God! So many people are going to die from that.
Yeah.
And the long-term devastation to one's life, you know, terrible, terrible, terrible. And even when we talk about that, it's about to happen. I'm reminded of Hurricane Andrew some 30 some odd years ago. On goosebumps like it was yesterday. And so it gives us real feelings for people that have been through real trauma and wars and deaths and cancer and things like that, to where just because it doesn't look like you're hurting doesn't mean that you're not.
Yeah.
Those people over there and those little kids over there, terrible. Okay, new subject, all right?
All right.
So is the county looking for drivers? That's what we want to know, to haul around those big garbage trucks.
Okay, so today I actually looked. We're not hiring now. I know that we generally have a need for them. So, you know, and I also looked for transit because they're the other department that typically hires a lot of drivers. They're not looking, at least not this week. They don't have any announcements out. That said, the thing to do is visit miamidade.gov/jobs with an S at the end. So plural, and just, you know, check it every so often, every couple of, I would check it twice a week because they update it constantly throughout the week.
When you're a driver, how many days a week do you work when you're a driver?
Well, with the waste collection trucks, it's 4 by 10 schedules. We call it 4 days, 10 hours. So, you know, if you have to work on that fifth day, it's overtime.
Years and years ago, I think it was, if I remember right, it was more hospital personnel that was working. They were offering 36 hours, and then all of a sudden it was 12 hours, 3 days. And so everybody was finding that balance in there. So with the county saying, yes, it's important, people need to work, but let's try only working 4 days. And the reality is, for most of us, another 2 hours that day, we're good, all right? Plus you get to miss the traffic, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
One way, at least
one day. One day of the week, yeah.
Okay. So often people are not sure what to call the stuff that is in the green dumpsters, all right? Whether that's trash or garbage. How does the county define that?
We call this, all of it waste. We call the stuff that goes in the green cart, the household, the stuff that comes out of your house, especially the kitchen, garbage. And then we call the stuff that you put bulky that's not as bad smelling, like the tree leaves and old appliances that you put on the street to have the bulky waste pickup. We call that trash.
And if somebody wants to take the leftover lawn clippings, as long as they can put that in the green thing without a particular problem.
They're allowed to do that, yes.
Yeah. And the palm fronds are particularly hard to get those to fold in half. Right?
Yeah, they're a little bit stubborn. They have a little bit of spring in their step, so to speak, I've heard.
You've heard?
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard that too, as it hit me in the chin. So what I usually do is I usually get the clippers and
just cut them.
And it's just part of my therapy and getting better, just out there cutting smaller ones. You could be surprised how much stuff you can get in there. But it's important, I think, for all of us to remember that if we jam it in there, what happens?
If it's jammed in too hard, it might not come out when it's time for the truck comes to pick it up, tips it in the back. If it's jammed in there too hard, it might get stuck in the cart, might not come out.
And I'll bet some of the times, because they did it 2 or 3 times, it didn't come out, they put it back down, then of course the homeowner calls up and complains.
They didn't get all my garbage.
So, but you guys know, because how many stops a day does the average driver do?
About 1,000, 1,100, something like that.
A day.
Yeah.
So that's somewhere between 1,100 and 1,500 buckets.
Carts, yeah.
Carts. So that's a lot of times, a lot of practice. So when they say, no, it was jammed in there, and this week I did 3,000 of those, or 2,000, a lot of experience, to do that. So now that the hurricanes is all but over, it's still a good time for people to go and take a look at their trees and see what to do. And some of our neighbors are moving, and so they got the big trucks over there hauling all that stuff away. So I'm waiting for them to have the big pile out front before I go get mine. I don't want to use my stuff up. And you can do that if you have permission, right? People do that all the time.
They can, they're just you have to be careful about it. You don't want to abuse it. You don't want to go to the point where you're putting in too much stuff or stuff that doesn't belong.
And so if somebody has that up, up their sleeve, they want to sneak it over there. That could be a problem for you
if
and
they're
for the
doing it
neighbor.
without permission, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And for the neighbor, because it's still
Well, more for the person who does it because technically it's illegal dumping
yes.
if you don't have
So if
permission.
they're thinking about that, all right, that
Yeah.
you might have a problem that day. Then when the guy sees you dumping that stuff in there, so I can't help but notice out where I live, the county's been doing a much better job in keeping the streets clean, and the side the swales. And I see a lot of no parking signs, really good. I see on 122nd Avenue they fixed up some of the private property owners have joined in and improved the swale part of those. If somebody consistently sees their neighborhood needs assistance because there's too much dumping or graffiti, what should they do?
Well, I know with the illegal dumping, of course, especially on the public right-of-way, that's easy. It's us. More general things you might want to call general, like code enforcement, which is general code enforcement, which is with the RER department, which I can never remember what the acronym stands for. Regulatory and economic resources.
Did you just read that off of there? Or
No, I didn't. It's
it
not
popped up in your brain.
It popped up in my brain. All sorts of weird stuff pops up in my brain. But yeah, I figured it out. It's regulatory and economic resources. They do have general. They do general code enforcement. So things like graffiti, that sort of thing, they might be able to do something about that.
Over the years, I've spoken to a lot of the code enforcement and throughout the county and a lot of the city's people, and they will tell you, listen, you got to get that off there immediately because it invites other people,
It becomes a magnet.
right, not gangs, whatever they are, to go and tag again, right?
Or a rival that
Yes.
tags.
And I just noticed some down the street. I'm going to try to get it painted over before too long because I know it's coming. And if somebody sees people dumping stuff on the ground or graffiti, all right, somebody doing it, all right, what should they do?
Well, I can't really speak to graffiti. I can tell you with illegal dumping, for sure, if you actually see them doing it, don't go to confront them, but you can call 911 for that. Not 311. You can call 911 if they're like, in the act of doing it. And you can report it as a crime in progress. If it's after the fact, you don't see the person who did it, you just see the pile suddenly materialized out of nowhere, you can call 311 to report it.
And Frank, if somebody has their trunk full of a bunch of garbage and they go, I'm not driving over to the TRC, first tell us what the TRC is and name a couple locations where they are.
The TRC, Trash and Recycling Center, those are centers where you can do it yourself basically. Bring some of the materials that you would otherwise put out for a bulky waste pickup. Typically, if you have smaller amounts and you don't want to use up one of your bulky waste pickups, it's a good option. Or, just sometimes it's just convenient. We have locations all over the place, all the way from the northeast of the county down to the southwest. Two of the locations that come to mind are close to where I live. The Sunset Kendall location, which is next door to Indian Hammocks Park, Southwest 107th Avenue between Sunset and Kendall Drives. And then there's the Snapper Creek one, which is at Tamiami Park, kind of like the southwest corner, right by FIU and Tamiami Park, Southwest 117th Avenue, just north of Coral Way.
And so let's say somebody's got their trunk full of stuff and they see that long line over there. They say, I'm not going to wait. All right. They turn back around and they find some spot that's right outside your home. They go, let's dump it over by Frank. He won't care. All right. If they dump that and they are caught when they're dumping that stuff, what's going to happen or what could happen?
Well, first of all, they could go to jail, yes, for illegal dumping. Yes, they can go to jail. They can have their vehicle confiscated. Most likely what's going to happen is they're going to get a fine. And the fines start at about $250 plus a $10 fee. So we're talking about $260. And if it's serious enough, the fine can go higher. And if I'm not mistaken, the Board of County Commissioners at least brought up the possibility of increasing the fines even further. So in the near future, we may see an increase in the fines.
So the county and law enforcement or as a representative take that very seriously because I think you could get a traffic ticket, a moving traffic ticket, and pay less, all right? So the county's very serious about this. because it is very costly. They dump it, all right, and then we have to pay again for somebody to come out and dump it.
Exactly. Well, we have to pay to an enforcement officer takes a look and tries to investigate and tries to find if they can pin it on somebody, whether through the items in the pile or whether they use a hidden camera or eyewitness or whatever. And then the second time somebody comes up and comes in out and picks it up, and that really isn't so much the purpose of the fines, and that they were actually increased a few years back. It's not really for revenue. Everybody thinks, the county's greedy; they're trying to want to get more money. It's to act as a deterrent.
Yes.
We would rather you not pay the fine at all, not dump illegally in the first place, than you illegally dump and then we go after you with a fine.
So our office is on an alley. Years ago, the alley was in terrible condition, owned by the city, and people used to dump stuff in the alley. Finally, I left a big sign, "Don't dump it here, please go somewhere else," because they were dumping it on our side of the alley, on our property. We had to take care of all that stuff.
Wow.
Had to dump it, put it
It's
into the
expensive.
green thing and have them come over, and it was a forever thing. It went on for years. Now we have cameras, and I don't know how much it matters, but it's been a while. And if the cans are full back there, I don't wait for the tops to be open. All right, just call them, because I know when it's clean that the bad guys don't want to be like the first ones to dump that. And they have caught plenty of people that have dumped the stuff. All right, and they go through the stuff, and people just take the trash cans that are inside and they dump it in there. And they were caught by the county years ago. So I'm pleased that it stopped. Famous last words. We'll see about when I come into work tomorrow. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about if somebody needs more information about services that solid waste provides, where do they go?
Sure, it's pretty easy. Just visit miamidade.gov/solid waste, or you can call 311. They'll help you out as well. And on our website, we list all the different services we provide: the recycling, waste collection, bulky waste, illegal dumping enforcement, home chemical, the TRCs, the trash recycling centers, and all that.
When are you going to have some more mobile home chemical pickups?
You just reminded me that I just got the schedule recently, so we'll be putting out the word on that.
But if they follow you on Instagram or on Facebook,
We'll typically make especially right before the individual events, but we will probably put out a press release on the schedule for next year, and of course we'll have it on our website.
so you how far in advance do you plan those, more or less?
Well, I mean, I just got the thing 3 months,
Yeah.
2.5 months, because I just got the thing for 2006. So it's almost October's almost over, so about 2.5 months before the year.
And so
starts
somebody could
next
go on the
year.
website, they can find out when it is. And let's talk about the home chemicals. People sometimes are not sure, but tell us what that includes.
So the home chemical program, we have 2 permanent sites, and then we do the events. And again, we're going to put out the schedule for 2026 soon. I just got reminded that that's part of my job, is making sure that stuff gets out there.
Did you get reminded on the? Are you
So
watching
yes,
it
I'm
every-
reminding myself. I'll watch the video to remind myself again. That's how bad my memory is. We have the 2 permanent centers, though. They're open pretty much every week from Wednesday through Sunday. They close Monday and Tuesdays from 9 to 5. And the centers are basically for stuff that you can't really throw in the garbage and is not recyclable. A few examples: used motor oil, paint, old paint. We were speaking about paint a little while ago. Old paint, batteries, stuff that's not safe to go in. Household chemicals, old fertilizers, things like that shouldn't go in the garbage because they can be a hazard for either the workers or the environment. And electronics are another item that we take at the home chemical collection centers. And you don't have to be our customer. You don't have to get service from us. They're open to all Miami-Dade residents. What you can't do is sneak in from one of the other counties to try to bring your stuff. But if you're a Miami-Dade County resident, you can bring the stuff there.
So just for clarity, so you have Miami-Dade, that's unincorporated Dade County, and then there's within
All the
Miami-Dade,
municipalities.
there's 34 cities, I think.
Yeah, and
Within
it's open to all of them.
Right.
The center, the home chemical collection center, at least.
And the company that is a vendor of the county for the recycling, is that the same vendor for the cities, or are there different vendors for the cities?
The cities that don't work with us on recycling have their own programs, have their own vendors. It is possible that some of our vendors are their vendors as well, but I can't tell you which ones are which.
So I understand that the county is going to be making two companies going to make proposals for the waste energy plant, which has been kicked around now for, I don't know, probably 2 years. And there'll be two proposals, one from two different companies. And it sounds like I thought I read December, January, February, something. The county commission is going to vote on that, on putting together that plant, which is going to take, depending on the figures, 8 to 10 years. So if we're really lucky, one day we'll see it, right? So, those plants, when they are built, you create energy, electricity out of that.
Yes.
And so currently, I mean, as in 2023 and before, the county supplied electricity to the city of Homestead and some other places, if I remember right.
The plant itself powers itself. I'm not sure about the other places. I know that we sold it to Homestead. It produces about enough to power a city about the size of Homestead, but it also produces enough to power itself.
Oh, good point. And then maybe at that point there'll be more of the electric trucks. Maybe.
And they can recharge themselves right there. That would be great.
That was the master plan for all those years. When we showed off, if you will, the first electric truck, that was being, if I remember right, that was being powered in Doral.
It was originally, yes.
So that was over 2 years ago. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that truck is beautiful. It doesn't make any noise except for the standard one, beep, 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 when it backs up, right? And when the guys
brake squeal or something like that.
And when the guys were all lined up and said, "Who's the one that gets to drive the truck?" Some guy. That's me. And it's really incredible, these vehicles, and a real boy toy in those. So the driver on those trash trucks, it's one guy or gal, all right, lady. They have cameras all over. Got the joystick to operate the hook, the grabber,
the arm.
The arm goes down, picks up the can, wraps around, not too tight, goes like this. All right, he watches, make sure there's no contraband in there, like arms and legs and stuff like that, to go in there. And
hope not.
Me too. So, and they do an incredible job. And so right now, they're on 4 days on, 3 days off.
Yes.
Yeah. And so if somebody's looking for work, just every couple of days look on there. The minimum requirement is CDL.
CDL, they typically want at least 1 or 2 years of truck driving experience.
Commercial driver's license.
Now, it doesn't have to be. I should know. Typically, when we announce the waste truck driver positions, you don't have to have the experience as a garbage truck or waste truck driver. It can be any type of truck. They will, if they hire you, they'll teach you the specifics of driving one of our trucks, including like the arm, and you have to drive on the right-hand side, at least while you're doing your route. You can drive to the route on the left-hand side, but once you get there, you have to drive on the right-hand side. Some drivers just get in the right hand, just drive that way the whole way.
Well, I see that. I don't know if it's just the state or throughout the country where there's enforcement now. If you don't understand our street signs, all right, we're not going to give you a license or a CDL, or we're going to take away when you. I never thought about it, but that's the reality. And unfortunately, there was some guy that did it. He got over 10. He failed the test more than 10 times, right? Wow. And he finally got his license. He made some illegal turn, which probably didn't have anything to do with his inability to pass, but just stupid. It killed a bunch of people, right? Just made a U-turn. People just plowed him. So my hat's off to whoever, whether it was the state or throughout the country. So let's get back, if we could, to the hurricane season. For us, I think that it's over, maybe, all right?
Almost. We're not quite there yet.
All right. But we're all feeling good. The weather was like over the weekend was miraculous, right?
And for the next weekend, it's supposed to be even nicer.
Is that right?
My understanding. I'm a little bit of a weather geek.
Okay. Rachel's producing the show, and Rachel, can you get on the camera there for a second? Let's see. Where is she? She's going to pop up there somewhere. In a second there, she's about to show up. She's got to keep working it, all right? Somewhere in there. Anyway, so Rochelle also teaches down in Florida City. She teaches 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, to the kids that need it the most. She's really making a big difference. And when Rochelle gets done teaching, there she is. All right, that's Rochelle right there. Come on, put it back there for a second. She's helping those kids, all right? And we see that she's really committed to them. And when she gets done in Florida City at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, she drives up here 25, 30 miles, Rochelle. And then when she gets done, she goes back, halfway back to go back home. And she's really making a huge difference, all right? Thank you, Rochelle, for doing that. So here we are again, almost Christmas time again. And I can't remember how many times we've talked about what we do with Christmas trees. I'm already past Christmas, by the way. What we do with Christmas trees when we get done. What do we do with them?
After Christmas, we typically ask people to bring them to our TRCs where they can be recycled into mulch. Certain TRCs, not all of them are take them for this program. Otherwise, we do have. They're actually working on figuring out how the schedule for it. But they go in zones and pick up the trees sometime after Christmas. We'll make an announcement before then.
And for the most part, it's after Christmas. Should they feel comfortable in just putting it out front without being concerned?
That's what most people do, and we will make an announcement related to that before. The one thing we ask, especially if they want it to be recycled, is remove all the stuff from just the tree. No base, no ornaments, no lights, no tinsel or whatever. No, and definitely not flock trees. But yeah, as far as putting it out there, we typically make an announcement, and they just have to figure out the schedule how they're going to do it, and then we'll go around and we'll pick it up. But then we do ask folks to be patient. We do have some folks who will put it out there the 26th, and then on the 27th they're already calling us. It takes a while. They have a large area to cover, so they're going to work on a schedule.
So when they pick it up, do they just pick up Christmas trees that day, or does it go right in the regular junk?
Well, they typically have crews that are dedicated to just picking up Christmas trees after Christmas for a few weeks.
And do they all go to the same recycling place?
Not all of them are going to get recycled. Typically, the ones that are taken to TRCs, yes. And again, it's going to be a limited number of the TRCs. It's not going to be all the TRCs. Some of the ones that they put out there, if they have, like I mentioned, they're not flocked. They're the fake snow on them. They don't have the lights. They don't have. If they're perfectly clean. Basically, if they're perfectly clean, they can take them for mulch.
And they put it through the grinder, all right? And we've seen it before where it's spitting out this stuff.
Yes. Important to note that they don't do that on the spot. They wait till they've accumulated all the trees that they've collected. Then they shred, and then they take the mulch to several different TRCs. We announce in advance, like, which ones are going to be, and then we make an announcement typically in the spring when it's ready for pickup. And then it's first come, first serve. And you do have to be a customer.
So we've got all those, and they take the mulch to the TRCs? Is that what you said?
After they shred it, they take it to, not all of them, several. There's a select few TRCs that they take the mulch to.
And you could go to the TRC and you can get
First
some.
come, first serve, as long as you're one of our customers.
You don't have to bag it? Can you put it in the back of your truck?
You can put it in the back, but you're on your own as far as the container, though. We don't supply the container. We don't supply the tools. You have to bring a shovel or something, and whatever container you want. If the back of the truck is the container you want, then, so be it.
It is a good smell, though.
Yes, that pine tree smell. I'll tell you, when the resources recovery facility was still in operation, you go through. They have what we call the tipping floor, where they actually bring the stuff and dump. Was interior, large area, but it was indoors. And they have, actually, to try to keep odors down, they have like a partial vacuum on the inside, and the doors close automatically as each truck enters. And, as you can imagine, especially on a hot day, it doesn't smell that good. But in early January, when they bring trees into because they had a trash side and they had a garbage side. The trash building where they brought the trees in, it actually smelled good.
Imagine that.
Smelled good.
Mark this day down in infamy, right?
You could smell the pine. It just smelled good. It really did.
That's the only day you want to be a neighbor.
Well, after Valentine's Day, when they bring all the flowers.
Really?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yep.
All right, so here we go again. January is around the corner. We're moving from almost November 1st to January. What are some things that you can state publicly that's going to go on in the public in the solid waste department as far as improvements in service?
Well, off the top of my head, I mean, we're gonna
Here-
have a new schedule for home chemical mobile events. We have more outreach
Here-
events.
Yeah, so my wish and hope is that there's more of the recycling methods being taught to our youngsters, because they're this one that can do it for 50 years and 60 years versus
Oh, we're always trying to talk about recycling when we hope to do more of that next year.
when I was chatting with Madam Mayor, I said, that's the thing that you can work on, that people can be proud of being part of something. And I think that it sort of went away. Other things got more important. And I'm not sure when that happened. It could be years where other things like COVID and staying alive, stuff like that, was probably a little bit more important. And so I think that it would be wonderful to be able to teach even the youngest ones. I told you my 10-year-old, when he was around and he pulled up a plastic bag, look, Grandpa, look what I found. I was like, that's extraordinary. And Frank, I want you to know, again, last week a piece of paper went flying out of my truck. I chased it down. I can't believe I'm chasing and stomping on it. I'm going to get that.
While you were driving?
No.
Oh, okay. I was
no
gonna
out
say,
here.
wow, man, that's
Yeah, and I'm going. I better get it. This is the last step I'm taking, because I'm not going to chase this stick anymore. But I think that if we can become more like that, all right, that we're all going to be much better off, because we can see what a difference it makes. And again, my hat's off to our county commissioner out in horse country, who's really made a big effort, right? And no parking signs on 118th Avenue, because people just park their cars there, and no dumping signs. And it does make a difference. I see that. And they've got grass that's in the swale, and people are less likely to dump when it looks nice and there's no other trash that's out there.
Nobody wants to be, as you mentioned earlier, the first. If there's one little thing, though, boom, it
Yes.
becomes like a magnet. But nobody wants to be that first person to break the ice.
Yeah, so anyway, there's the real estate market is going to recover pretty soon. I don't know when that is, but things will be popping pretty quickly. And we recognize that, again, speaking of popping, during Christmas time, people get a lot of boxes compared to what they used to get, all right? So we get the 2 boxes. You get the box that it's shipped in, then you have the manufacturer's box on the inside. So we get 2, all right? And so at Christmas time, we take it and we throw all that stuff away, and it gets filled up pretty fast. So tell us what people should do with these big cardboard boxes that they get their stuff in starting in 6 or 8 weeks.
Break it down, put it in the recycling. And guess what? Our TRCs also, some of our TRCs also take cardboard. If you have too much and you want it to be recycled, you can bring it to, you have to visit our website or call 311 to find out which of the TRCs take cardboard, because not all of them do. But yeah, you can bring it there.
We have a guy that whenever we got a lot of stuff, he comes and picks it up. And I said, I want to know what you do. He says, we take it just like you guys do. They put it on the floor, and there's where the computers go. There's where this goes. Here's where, and I said, you recycle it? Yeah. And it's a really good feeling to know that. It's a little bit more comfortable to think all this stuff is just that all of it's going to go in the ground.
There are people who independently, just like, I guess, freelancers, they find cardboard boxes that people throw out in different spots, and they make a living off of this. They spend their day chasing down cardboard boxes, and they go to these recycling. I was near where our office is, which is in Liberty City. I was on the way into work one day, and I see all these pickup trucks stacked high with cardboard boxes, and I'm like lined up, and I'm like, what? It took me like a second. Wonder what they're doing. Then I realized, oh, they're going in that place to sell their cardboard.
It's wonderful. The way I found our cardboard guy, is I'm getting a cup of coffee at McDonald's at 6 in the morning. I see some guy in McDonald's. He's got his truck, and he's back there putting all the stuff. Hey, amigo, come here. All right? So he picks up our cardboard now. And he wants it flat before he comes out, which is just fine. All right, so again, Thanksgiving time, don't put that stuff in your disposal, all right?
No.
And we don't want the cooking pan, if you will, not to be recycled because
Yeah,
it's too
that
greasy
can't
and
be-
different.
Yeah, it's a different. The aluminum that we can recycle basically cans, and they're very lightweight. There's machinery like optical scanners, and then it gets shot off into the air, and those big pans are just too heavy for that.
And so one last question concerning plastic bags.
Sure.
In the Miami-Dade County, the plastic bags are not recyclable
In our program.
in your program. But there are other venues, other locations, throughout, not in Dade County, but throughout the state and probably throughout the country, that they do take plastic bags.
Possible. I don't know of a household recycling program that does. That's not to say it doesn't exist. I do know that a lot of the that there are stores here, retail, like grocery stores here, that will take plastic bags back for recycling. So that's a possibility for those who want to be diligent about recycling. Don't put it in the blue cart, but you can bring it back to Publix, Walmart, or two that I know off the top of my head. There may be others. Check first, as I always warn, because you don't want to show up there with a whole bunch of them and then find that the store doesn't take
And
it.
even if the plastic bag was recyclable, if you have your garbage in it, it's not.
Well, no.
Right. So we're talking about like from the drugstores, the grocery stores. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Frank, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having
Appreciate
me.
it. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Okie doke.
All right. Let's look at that camera right over there. And folks, the Millers and pretty soon Frank over here like to do what Disney does. It's called the Disney rule, which is when you hug someone,